Okay, I think we are live. I believe we are live. Let me know if anybody's out there. I am. If you notice that my color is a little bit off, it's because I messed with my settings and I don't know. At least I'm not looking green like I was before. Anyway, it has been a hectic. Well, I guess I can't say month because this is June now, believe it or not. May was a terrible month for me, not just in eBay, but life in general. Ran into quite a few issues with trying to be a mechanic, getting our business up and running. I've had to. Um, what all did I do? I changed the turn signal switches in the truck. I messed up the steering wheel where it was a little crooked, so I had to straighten that out. Tried installing the stereo. I think I mentioned that before in my wife's van, and that became a huge project. I still haven't got it completely finished. I gave up on it for about 2 weeks. I was sitting there trying to get it working. Finally got the camera working, buttoned it all up, and what? Hey, wife, come check out what I did. She came out, and there was nothing showing on the video on the stereo. It was a backup camera is what the issue was. So I still have to get back on that. Haven't done so yet. I think I'm going to work on that this weekend. The weather for ice cream has been tremendous. It's finally started sun shining. The rain has gone away. You know, here and there we get a little bit coming back in, trying to hold on to those winter months. Looking at the window over there, so the sun is currently shining. It was raining earlier today, and it's just been off and on. But anyway, my wife went to get ice cream and found out that her air conditioner didn't work in the car we bought over the winter. And when I went to recharge the air conditioner, it ended up just, I heard this psss. Well, lo and behold, I had a hole in the condenser. So that is this weekend's project, is trying to get that condenser changed out, which is going to be a undertaking, to say the least. Anyway, on to eBay. It's been a trying month on eBay. I lost my top seller status, and the reason was I have gotten 5 transactions I had to cancel because of defective or missing items in my inventory. One of them I made right. I sold a DVD. I apologetically canceled the order, so I can't find the DVD in the 150 or so that I have. And I said, look, I'm going to cancel the order because I can't find the DVD, but if I find it, I will send it back to you free, no of charge. I did end up finding it about a week later. I think I mentioned this story before, and I sent them the DVD. Not a problem, but it still counts as canceling a transaction because I didn't have it in my inventory. One of the other problems I had was I had double listed an item. It was a new thing for me. Not double listed on eBay, but I listed on Etsy and I listed on eBay, but it was part of a lot of tins. It was a Louisiana coffee tin, and I ended up selling it on Etsy. Forgot to modify the listing on eBay to remove the coffee can, and it sold, and that was the one item that she actually wanted out of the lot. There was about 5 or 6 other tobacco related tins that were in that lot. So that was another instance that easily could have been avoided, but in my noob status on eBay, reselling online, that is just a mistake I made. But anyway, I did lose my top seller status. And this is your tip, just so you know, if you, on those items, they stay on your account for 12 months. The only way to get them to drop off of your account is if you average 1,200 sales in a 3-month period. Now that's not, 400 one month, 400 the next, and 400 after that. It's just 1,200 items. So let's say I sold 500 in April and May combined. Right there's 500 total. So if I sold in June another 700 items, those items would fall off my account. I could regain my top seller status. So strategy has changed in the way I run my sale. Everything that I don't consider me having money in, I have lowered the price, pushed a lot of items to auction. So part of the things that you see in this sold video are going to be things that I lowered the price, put to auction, just so I could sell. I'm trying to boost up my sales so that I can, go over that 1,200 item period in a 3-month average, so that I can hopefully regain my top seller status. And some of those items, some of those items can fall off that were dings on my account, can drop off, and I can regain my top seller status. Anyway, without further ado, here we go. Okay, so the first item we have here, I'll go ahead and make this large. This Lady Foot Locker brown sweatpants shorts. These were home sourced items. Get a little bit better picture of them. Nothing spectacular, just a basic pair of shorts made out of like a sweat material. I ended up putting those to auction and ended up selling them for $5. And my screen may go crazy here for a minute, just because I want to make sure that I'm completely accurate in my pricing. So, like I said, you're going to see a lot of lower cost items or lower sales in here. It's all profit in the long run. Like I said, a lot of these are going to be home source items. Some of the items you see in here that I did get a higher return on were some of the things that I had sourced. And I knew, based on what I priced, what I purchased them for, I knew I'd get a substantial return on in the long run. Next item we have here is this women's 2X red top from Great Northwest Clothing Company. The brand is nothing spectacular, but it was a nice top there, and it was I want to say this was a 1X or 2X. I listed 2X. It didn't have the sizing tag in it, but I did. We knew what size it was. I used my wife's self because this is one of her items. Next item we have coming up is, I don't know if you remember, I paid $92 for this Wii Mario Kart bundle. It had, as you can see there in the picture, I'll go ahead and make that larger. It had the Wii, it had all the controllers, the light bar, it had the controllers. You can see there it had one of the nunchuck connectors. Super Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart, and Super Mario Wii, Mario Brothers Wii. I ended up, this is an interesting item. I had listed, initially I had it listed for about $120, I think, for the entire lot. This is the one that I had actually sold to somebody in Zambia. And when we were trying to work out the shipping arrangements, shipping it through DHL was going to cost me over $900 to ship. And I'm like, no way. There's no way I'm going to fork out $900 to ship this thing. You either have to provide me with a DHL account that you want me to bill the shipping to, or we're just going to have to cancel the sale. So we ended up canceling the sale. I had a couple of inquiries from, I believe, Mexico, and there was another out of country location. I just wanted to get my inventory clear. I wanted to get it out of the inventory because it was taking up space. So I ended up putting it down at $30 or $35 auction to start out with, and I ended up getting $82 plus shipping for. So that ended up being positive. And like I said, I paid $92 for the lot, but there's a lot of other games in there, and one of the games I sold for $50 plus shipping. And so the lot has more than paid for itself. I've sold a few other games in that lot, and I still have games that still need to be sold. So still turned a profit on it. The next item we have here is, when I first started out, I was going to start doing the retail arbitrage. And, because of the time I was starting to do this resale adventure, I was wanting to do stuff on Amazon, but because it was during the holiday season, I couldn't do fulfillment by FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. So I ended up putting on eBay. It's been sitting there since November, December time frame, and I want to say I gave maybe $1.50, $2 for it, and I did end up putting it down on auction and took $5. So I didn't really make anything off of this, very little, but it's out of my inventory, out of my hair, and it's one less item that I'm going to have to worry about relisting this next month. So the next item we have here is this Dragon Balls Budokai. It was a PS2 game. I have a ton of PS2 games. I gave less than $1 for all my PS2 games. As you can see, it didn't even come in the original case. It came in as a generic blank case, and I ended up letting it go at $3 plus shipping. Everything that I have is pretty much plus shipping. The next item, many of you may remember that I had one of the auction lots that I did. I picked up about 35 or 40 pairs of these gloves, 34 available left. So 35 pairs of these batting gloves, pink. They're women's size small, or you could consider them youth. And I just listed them all in one listing, $3.99 a pair. So I still have to make my money back on them, but I'm on my way. I'm hoping with the onset of warmer weather that everybody's going to need baseball gloves. So if you know anybody looking for some, send them my way. $3.99. It's a hell of a price plus shipping. So you're really talking, a little less than $6 dropped off at your door. You don't even have to get out of your car or get in your car to leave the house to go pick them up. Man, let me tell you what. I thought that stamps were going to be an awesome seller. I sat on these since these are one of the first few thrift shop purchases that I made. I finally lotted them up together. I had them listed for like 12 and then 10, and then finally I said, you know what, during this transition into how I'm running the shop, I lotted them all together and lowered the price at $4 plus shipping, auction, and somebody ended up finally purchasing. They went out in a flat rate envelope, $6.65 to ship, and they are now out of my inventory. Yeah. Next up I have these Sums. I'll go up here so you can actually see the name. It's a mini lot of 6 plush. And these are some of the, I believe they're Marvel. There's like, I guess I can go down here and look. I didn't even, that's probably why they didn't sell. This one I didn't even have the items listed. These I actually, let me see if I did end up getting full price. I got $9.99 plus shipping, so it was $13.20 out the door. And I paid $1 a piece for them, so I didn't make a huge profit on them, but I covered the cost plus a couple months of listing fees. Next item we have left. Oh, if you guys remember the belt buckles I picked up, this was a Loyal Order of the Moose. And I had 3 of these belt buckles. I paid, I want to say $7 I paid for the lot. It was I would have to double check. I thought I had the, excuse me while I duck down below the camera. Okay. I do have, where are we at here? Is this the one with the Air Force pictures? Okay, I paid $9 for the lot. Within the first week, I did get an offer on it. And I ended up getting $13 for this particular belt buckle. Like I said, this one here covered the cost of goods. And I still have 2 more belt buckles in that lot to sell. They'll probably be a little bit longer term just because of the content or the subject matter. But I was glad that the purchase did pay off, and I still made a little bit off of it, and everything else that was in that $9 lot is going to be pure profit. So the next item we have is this tobacco sign, Timberwolf. This was part of that same lot. I sold it relatively quickly, and that one I gave $4 for, and it was probably a good, I think I have the actual size listed in the listing here. It was, I ended up selling it for 30. Let me just make sure I didn't take a best offer on that. No, I did get full price for $35. It was about, I didn't even put I thought I had the size in that as well. But it was in pretty good condition. There was some minor flaws you can see right here. I'm going to sneeze here. My allergies are driving me crazy. And there was a couple little, where the paint had scuffed. The big one was right here along this side. But as you can see, turned $4 into $35. That was a pretty decent turnaround. And that $35 did not include shipping. So they had to pay shipping on top of that. Next one, again, I'm going to talk at the end of the video about titles, because I found out things that were contrary to what I've watched on YouTube. So I want to pass that information on to you. But this is just a basic no boundaries, short sleeve shirt, nothing spectacular. This is another home sourced item, and a 2XL, again, $4. Nothing to write home to mom about, but hey, I'm getting my inventory cleaned out. That's one less item that I'm going to have to pay listing fees next month. And I'm going to be able to start sourcing for some higher priced items which will hopefully bring me back a higher return. But at some point you have to make a decision to just start moving inventory. Because every time you have to pay a listing fee, you're cutting into your profit overall. Next item, this is just a stock photo. It's a Small World of Fun Walt Disney DVD. $2 plus shipping. There's another DVD. Tarzan didn't even have the original price. Again, $2 plus shipping. And I always do this. May have some surface scratches, but it plays. Another DVD, Wind in the Willows, $275 plus shipping. It was in really good condition. Finally, I had so many offers on this Nirvana Unplugged in New York. The thing is, I'm not an expert on vinyl, but there are variations of Nirvana Unplugged. If you have the red vinyl, you're going to drive a higher price. But this is the black version, black vinyl. So I was lucky. I finally accepted an offer. I paid $12.50 for it, and I ended up taking an offer of $17 plus shipping. I had a list. I finally dropped the listing price to $19.99 when I learned about vinyl. So anyway, if you're out there going to buy out there sourcing, you find Nirvana, the red vinyl version, meaning that the record itself is the color red. You can get a good deal with it. It's going to drive a little bit higher price. Okay, this next thing. This is that Kendo armor set, the Men in Tear, with a canvas bag. This is part of that lot. I think I gave $7 for this hockey lot, and it ended up having a pair of hockey gloves and this. And it ended up being a kendo set, not the complete set. It only had the mask and the belt. But as you can see, excuse me. Oh, the interesting, I had lots of offers. I had offers from Brazil, I had offers from Mexico, but those countries, because this is considered armor, under the global shipping program, it doesn't qualify. So I ended up having to walk through this and explain to them, we won't ship down there, and I had to turn down all those sales. I had it listed higher. Well, finally, I get a message in Spanish. I'm like, oh no, not another one. I don't understand Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I can't read Spanish, but I have Google Translate. The one word I did recognize in there was Boise. So, interesting enough, as I translate it, they're asking me how much to ship to Boise. So I looked at the shipping fees, and it was like $13 to ship down, even an item as large as this, because it's not that far away. So I went back and forth. He's like, well, what's the lowest you would go? I said, well, what's your offer? And he said 63 shipped. So I was like, okay. I mean, I paid $7 for the lot. I'd already sold the hockey gloves that covered the cost of the lot. And $13 to ship, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. It was somewhere between $12 and $14 a ship. It is out the door, and I was glad to see it gone. And as you can probably imagine, I was pretty ecstatic about the price I got for it. Okay, I was just checking my sound. I know if anybody out there is telling me that can hear my sound. If it's too loud, not loud enough, just let me know and I'll adjust that. Okay, this is another couple items that I've had sourced for quite some time. The Sleep Start reading cartridges, Bounce Ticker Bounce, Princess Stories. I don't believe I actually took an offer of $9. I had them listed finally at $12.99. And I ended up selling $9 plus shipping. Just to give you, I mean, I've sold a few of these. It's not something that, if I can get them cheap enough, I'll pick up again, but it's not something I'm going to actively go out and source. Just like PS2 games. I mean, PS2 games, it seems like, are hard to get rid of. If you can't pick them up for, way less than $1, or, less than $1, then I wouldn't even consider picking them up. I'm about to drop the price on all of mine just to see if I can move them. This is part of my last sign lot, and forgive me for not knowing exactly how much I paid for these. I always have to reference. Oh, there it is. I paid $6 for a lot of signs. None of them were that spectacular. They were just, it looked like signs that were created for a car show. Somebody restored cars or made hot rods, and they listed out all the details about the car. Those signs I still have listed. I put them down on auction. This is the only one that was of any substance, and I ended up selling it $20 plus shipping. Like I said, I paid $6 for the lot. It more than covered the price of the lot, covered my time going to source, and even if I scrapped the other signs eventually, and collect my 25 to 30 cents, whatever the going price of aluminum is now, I still came out ahead. Next we have up is another DVD, $2 plus shipping out the door. This one I actually got a neutral review for because it was brand new. I know that I think it was mainly shelfware, but it was one of my first times I picked up when I bought that lot at Hastings back in October time frame. It's been sitting on my shelf ever since. but they weren't satisfied with it. Um, I'm up to 3 neutral reviews now, so yeah, it's a little disappointing. It's a little disheartening, but hey, you can't let it get you down. Look at all the positive reviews you have, and let those be the driver for you keeping going. This other one I paid like $1.50 for at a thrift shop, so I didn't really make a ton of money off of it. I probably made less than $1 overall by the time you figure listing fees and PayPal fees and everything else. So, like I said, I'm just trying to boost up my sales to get over that hump and try to get out of the above standard and get back in the top seller status. This one I picked up at a thrift shop. I probably paid $3 or $4 for, if I remember right. It really did look, new condition. The only problem is it was a size small. I don't know how many people could fit in a belt that small, but I finally was able to get rid of it for $9.99 plus shipping out the door. Next one was a home sourced item. It was this Columbia women's jacket, and I ended up letting it go at $17.99 plus shipping. And a lot of you, I get asked, are you looking at comps? I do look at comps, but the problem with comps is you still have to know that you have to find somebody out there that's willing to pay that price. There's somebody out there willing to buy the item. The number of people willing to buy the items is always going to be a larger number than the number that are willing to pay top dollar for the item. So since this was a home sourced item, I ended up lowering the price so I could finally get it out the door. $17.99. To me, it was still a good turnaround. It was home sourced. My wife had gotten her use out of it. Next one is this Foundry men's long sleeve plaid button down shirt. Let it go. One of the other items I lowered down to $5. Auction, and got one bid on. All these shirts I picked up for. This one wasn't home. Yeah, this one was home source. I got another one like similar to it that's lined that I paid like $2 for, and it wasn't Foundry. I can't remember the brand off the top of my head, but this one was home source. So, it's still profit to me. Women's capri size 8 stretch denim. If you notice in some of these, I ended up changing the structure of my titles, and like I said before, I'll go over this later. I didn't include any branding in it. I mean, it's there in the picture. I believe I even have a close-up Northwest, and I believe I may have it Northcrest. So I did put it in the description along with the measurements. But auction, $5 out the door. Another pair of capris, $5 again. And again, these are all plus shipping. Super Mario DS came with a little case. I ended up taking a best offer of $8 plus shipping. Jane Austen DVD. I took a best offer of 99 cents. I forget how many other people are going to message me and make an offer. So I was like, yeah, let's get it out. Next one, Sword in the Stone. This one I got a little bit more for $4 plus shipping. I'm trying to get back to my list. Okay. Next one is a shirt that I had worn. It was home source. Red, white, and blue. The holiday season are coming up. We just passed Memorial Day. Moving on to the 4th of July. People are going to get patriotic, as they should every day of the year. But ended up selling it $5 plus shipping. This is a Coldwater Creek long sleeve. It did have issues. I was about to pull it to donate, And I did make sure I took a picture. There's some stitching out of on the sides. It was a split side, but it split just a little bit more. This was a home sourced item. It's not something I would have picked up when sourcing, but ended up letting it go out the door at $5 plus shipping. Another home source item, this 2XL Dickie short sleeve button up plaid, $5 plus shipping. Pac-Man World Sony PlayStation 2. It was in pretty decent condition. It was $3 plus shipping. This one, it was a mess. Okay, my daughter wanted to have a hoverboard. So I went and we bid on this, right? And I put a max price automatically. Bid on it at a local auction. And it wasn't until I started looking at it, because I was going through the list, trying to figure out, what I wanted to buy. It wasn't until later I went back and looked at the description that it wasn't working. I thought, you know what? I ended up paying $43 for it. And I thought maybe I'll be able to, get it fixed. I believe the only thing that was wrong with it, the charger on these will go bad. They're cheap chargers from what I understand. And I didn't feel like taking the chance and ordering a new charger. So I ended up letting it go out $32.05. Let me make sure that's what it did go for. Yes, $32.05 plus shipping. So I ended up I lost about $12, well, probably about $15 on this whole, but it wasn't originally meant to source for resale. So it was just I wanted to get what I could out of it and count my losses. The next item we have coming up is another pair of pants. Aeropostale jeans, Chelsea bootcut, size 3-4 short, $5 plus shipping out the door. Another one, Geist. Nintendo GameCube game. And then I ended up going, I want to double check, make sure. Yeah, I did get $9.99. I got full price, asking price for it plus shipping. This one I took a best offer of $3.06 plus shipping. I don't know. I don't understand the offers that are like odd, $3.06. Who comes up with $3.06? I don't know if they're trying to make it an even $7. I don't know. But I ended up letting this. It was a lesson learned. I paid I think $1 for these shot glasses. Shot glasses aren't my thing. So through this process of purchasing some shot glasses, I learned that that is not a niche that I want to get into. Nintendo DS Ice Age Continental Drift for the DS ended up going out $4.99 plus shipping. That one actually went out overseas. And Marshall Mason, Anthony Hopkins, Audrey Rose. Look at it's really odd. Looking at the cover, you'd think it was like a horror film or something, but it wasn't. I think it's like rated PG. But back in my day growing up, PG was probably equivalent of an R now, without the nudity but the violence. Anyway, folks, that is what sold for me this last week. And I did promise you a tip. And this, while I was on the phone with eBay trying to work out, just get information, I wanted to talk about their search algorithms. We're going to go to eBay up here, and I'm just going to type something in. I have these Air Force lithographs. And I can't figure out why my space button isn't working. Oh, interesting. I don't know why my space bar isn't working on either my laptop or... And of course when I ran it all together... Oh, there it goes. Or did they fix it? Oh, I cannot believe they fixed it. Before I was getting the Air Force. Now I'm making a liar out of me. Before I had my... it always came up with the Air Force Nikes. Anyway, when I was telling that story, he laughed because he knew exactly what I was going to say. Because the first thing he thought of when I said Air Force was Nike shoe. And I'm thinking, this here is America. It's America. When I say Air Force, it's the United States Air Force. And okay, maybe I'm biased because I'm an Air Force vet. But I'm like, if they're going to be looking up Air Force shoes, let's make them add Nike to their search. We chuckled about it for a few minutes, but I asked him, I said, tell me a little bit about titles. I said, the YouTube, I did a lot of research on YouTube when I first started, and everybody says use the full 84 characters, I think it is, that the search field will hold. Use them all. Use as many characters to describe your item as you can. He's like, they have changed the search algorithm. He said he was just told this. I don't just told. It could have been today. It could have been a week ago. Well, it would have been at least a week ago because it was over the weekend I talked to him, or late last week. Could have been a month ago. For some reason, 1 to 3 months is when he was told. I don't know when they actually did it. But what he said was, in your title, be more direct. Because when you put too many words in your title, it bogs down the system, and the search engine doesn't know what you're wanting to find. It's so hard to tell what results you're going to get back. So my recommendation is, if you don't want to take my word for it, call up eBay, get get what they say, or experiment with a few items that you may not have been selling recently, and try it out. Try to short. Instead of putting the brand, unless it's a really significant brand, instead of putting like that one pair, there were Aeropostale, denim, 5-pocket, women's, jeans size 7/8, dark blue. Try putting in women's jeans size 7/8, and then put down in the description all the other details you want to, and see what happens. See if those items that may not have been that may not have sold, that you've had sitting in your inventory for some time, give it a try. What do you have to lose? They go another week without selling? But anyway, that's the one tip that I have for you today. I'll try to wrap up every live stream with tips that I've learned, that I've come across. Today you got a bonus, you got an extra one when I mentioned the length of time. That don't forget that if you do have dings against your store, that they can sit on there for as long as a year, unless you sell more items. And that magical number for me to knock down those selling, canceling items because of flawed or missing inventory, the magic number is 1,200 in the 3-month period of time. So anyway, those are things just to keep in the back of your mind. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed spending a few minutes with me this evening, but that is all I got. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.